Namaste yogis, welcome into practice. Hope you're having a nice day. We are setting up here for practice today, and if you've already looked at the notes or you kind of already know where we're headed, this is going to be a practice which is about making space, and we'll do that through the focus of back bending today. Now, of course, here my setup's a little unique because Gus is here trying to eat everything. However, what we're going to do is, if at all possible, I'd like you to grab 2 blocks or something that can give you a little bit of height. And of course, if you are, excuse me, sir, if you are at home or in a place where you have other tools, 2 blocks are going to go underneath the backs of the shoulder blades. And at the same time, if you don't have blocks, you can use blanket, or you could use kind of a rolled up towel. You could use a pillow off of your bed or something off of the sofa. And you're going to lie it down. Stop, please. Let go. Let go. Let go. And I'd like you to lie down on the block to give the center of your chest a little bit of height. Now, as I navigate my setup, you start to set yourself down. And I want you to lie yourself over the block or over the blanket. And so you have a little bit of height going on in your body or in the center of your chest. And that's going to allow you to open up the middle spine, the thoracic, in a way that creates a little bit of opening already to make space in the middle of the back. And so as you lie down, what you're going to find is maybe the head comes down towards the floor, or maybe it needs a little bit more of a prop or additional thing underneath you. And the arms will come either by your sides or a little bit wider and over your head. And one of the reasons I like to use blocks and blankets is because it gives a little bit more structure underneath the back of the spine. You could absolutely do this with a bolster, or you could do something that is a little bit softer or firmer. But I tend to find that a block with a blanket over the top can suit really well to give that kind of what we call a thoracic lift, a opening of the chest, while still having that structure and support behind you to give you that lift. And as you just settle in here for a moment, lying down in the body, knees can be bent or straight, whatever works for you today. And just start to notice how that feels to open the middle of the spine, the middle of the thoracic, and start to place your hands in a position that gives you as much value as it works to just kind of create space in the chest. And you almost want to feel like gravity is almost drawing the top half of your body towards the head and the bottom half of your torso towards the hips. And you just have this nice gentle curve going on in the spine to really start to settle in while still opening up. This idea of making space is a really nice way to approach back bendings, because so often we think of back bending as folding or compression or extension. And while all of that has factors that play into back bending, today's language or literature is about how we can make space, not just in the spine, but more in the thoracic mobility and the movement of the spine, as opposed to just always considering it to be folding, compressing, extending. And this is why a lot of times people have a love-hate relationship with back bends, a feeling about how they feel about back bends. So today is about shifting that a little bit and seeing how we can work into opening and making more space. And so if you're down on the floor like me here, arms in whatever is position, just start to let the knees go a little bit side to side. Now, of course, it's not going to perhaps go to the same range as how you might do it or like it when you're full flat to the floor. And you can widen your feet a little bit, and you just start to notice how we're waking up the back body. One of the things that's so necessary and critical when we're working with back bending is that the back chain, the posterior line of the body, starts to wake up, activate, and engage. Good. Now, as you come back and bring your knees to the center, inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling like you're clapping your hands. And you'll feel the protraction of the spine moving behind you. And then keeping that length and rounding in the back body, open the hands back up like wings. So they hover just out to the sides. Do that again. Inhale, bring them back up, protract behind you. And then exhale, let them open up like wings. Crown of the head or back of the head still on the floor. Inhale, reach, round. So really lift the shoulder heads off the floor. And exhale, lengthen, hover, and hold. So the pecs are working, the back rhomboids are working. Inhale. Exhale, widen it. One last one. Inhale, reach and extend it all the way up. And then as you exhale, reach your fingers towards the front of your mat, lift your head into your shoulders, and sit yourself up. Wonderful. And as you do that, start to move your body back in a position of a tabletop. And obviously you can move your bricks out of the way now, or you can kind of leave them where they are and do it a little bit later. One of the tricks I like to do is, if you can see what I'm doing, is I literally just tuck my toes and put the block behind me, and I'll just leave it there for a moment. That way I don't have to too much fiddling as I start to put the body into immediate usage through cat-cows that start to move the spine front and back. Inhale, feel the chest draw open and start to really focus on protraction and scapular depression in these motions, because the middle thoracic is where we're trying to move with today. Big breath in, and then a long breath out. Wonderful. Now, open your knees up and set your hips back. And of course, you can move the blocks if they're in the way, but I quite like mine where they are today. And take your forehead down to the floor. And rather than the child's pose here for resting purposes, I want you to grab the outside edges of the mat and start to do some cat-cows, which are going to open and close the upper middle thoracic part of your spine. So it looks and feels like this. And obviously the forehead will come off the floor as you move, but as the hips stay back, and as you move through cats and cows, you'll start to really feel the middle thoracic start to move and mobilize. And it can be a nice awareness rather than just trying to do cats and cows only in your tabletop shape. This is one of my favorite variations. And what we're really trying to do is just start to move the body in a way where we're focusing more of the upper spine rather than letting the lower spine do all of the flexing work or the extension and the flexion work. And that's going to help us really target into place that ability to kind of move the spine through back bending motions. Good. After you do one or two more rounds of that, once you get yourself back into position, then lift yourself back up to tabletop. Please tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. So take a big breath in here, long breath out. And the pattern I'd like you to do today is you inhale through plank pose, keep your toes tucked, and move your hips down like it's upward facing dog, but don't touch the floor. And then exhale, take it back up. So it's a modified version. Inhale, hips lower, heels stay lifted, toes stay tucked. Exhale. So what we're doing is we're not putting any extra load into the lower back that we can't control. Roll the shoulders up and back. Hips stay buoyant, which means lower back stays long. One more time. Inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, and then come back downward facing dog. Well done. Move the chest straight through to plank pose and lower all the way down to the floor. Good. Now, like we talked about in back bends, you need to warm up the back body. So we're going to start with some posterior lengthening and posterior activation. And start like this. I'd like you to start here, forehead down, and I'd like you to reach your arms nice and wide, right? And as your arms reach wide, I want you to press the tops of your feet into the floor and then lift your chest like it's a cobra pose, but your palms are still on the floor. Good. That's the first action. Then I'd like you to tuck your chin so the crown of your head gets long. Tops of the feet are pressing so the knees are lifted. You got that? And then lift your hands off like you're flying. Great. Make two fists with the hand thumbs facing forward. And on your inhale, roll the thumbs to the back of the room. Feel the shoulder blades draw down the back. And then exhale, spin them down to the floor, and then take them all the way back behind you. Forehead back to the earth. Inhale, flow and roll them up. Shoulder blades down the back, biceps move to the back of the room. Exhale, roll them inward, take them to the back of the room, forehead down. Do this 3, 4, or 5 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift it up. Don't lose the feet. Exhale. This time when you come up, stay up. Keep the cobra, but do the hand work. So internally wrap the arms. Inhale, shoulders back, scapulas down, feet press. Exhale, roll it down. Still lifted in cobra. One more time. Inhale, thumbs go back. Exhale, everything to the floor. Hands by your chest, tuck your toes, press to plank, knees up or down, downward facing dog. How'd that feel? So what we're really doing is starting to switch the back body, and already you should be able to feel your back body warming itself up or already in usage. Do that one more time, please. Inhale back to plank. Knees up or down, your choice. Chaturanga, all the way to the floor. Arms straight out to the side. Inhale, lift the chest like a cobra pose. And then when you're ready, lift your palms, push the feet down. Inhale, lift the chest, turn the thumbs back. This time, as you exhale, keep yourself lifted. Now lift the feet, send them back, internally wrap the thighs. Inhale, open and draw the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, keep the height. Inhale, open up. Exhale, roll it forward. One more time. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, release to the floor. Tuck your toes. Press to plank. Downward facing dog. Good. As you come forward to a plank pose, drop your knees down. Tuck your toes, sit back onto your heels. Now I'm going to do this backwards so you can see the back of my body. But already the back body should be starting to warm up. And I'd like you to do the same thing. Reach your arms out to the side. Now inhale, spiral the thumbs back. Feel that same action of the shoulder blades going down the back. And this time as you exhale, roll it all the way down and forward like it's a cat pose curling. Inhale, roll it back. Now lift the chest like it's a cow pose. Exhale, roll it forward. Thumbs go up and back. Cow pose, wide, collarbones wide. Exhale, turn it in, round it down. Slight bend in the elbows can help. Inhale, peel it open. Exhale, wrap it down. Good, come back to neutral for a moment. Hands are still out by the sides. Bend at the elbows here. And then what I'd like you to do is inhale, reach your hands over your head like the thumbs and the index fingers are touching. And then as you exhale, bring your elbows wide and down towards your hips. So this is the downward rotation of the scapulas. Back body's warming up. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, elbows to hips. Now add the spine. Inhale as you take it up, make this into a cat shape, round it forward. Exhale, elbows down, open the chest, lift the collarbones. I'll do it from the side a few more times. Inhale, it rounds like a cat. Exhale, elbows to hips, lift from the chest. One more time. Inhale, like a cat, roof over your head. Exhale, elbows down, chest lifts. Good, release the hands, shake it out. Come to plank straight away. And what I want you to notice is the strength that you might feel in the arms, but more importantly, the switching on of the back body. So take a big breath in here, knees up or down, your choice. Lower to low plank position, hold and hover. Flip the feet, upward facing dog, reset the shoulders. Downward facing dog. Big breath in, long breath out. Walk yourself to the top of the mat. And what do you notice as you take a halfway lift? Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way to standing. And then just like before, elbows to hips, lift the chest. Good, so here's the action what I want you to do. Bend the knees like chair pose, round the back like a cat pose. And then lift the chest, elbows to hips. Here for a few more breaths. Inhale, round, still in chair. Exhale, elbows to hips, lift the center of your heart, widen the collarbones. Two more. Exhale, you round like a cat. Inhale, you open the chest, lift the center of your heart. Exhale, you round, last one. Inhale, you lift the center of the heart. Stand up, forward fold. So all we're really doing is firing the back body, firing the back body. Take a halfway lift here, please, as you lengthen. Hands flat, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. What do you notice that's going on behind you in your back body? Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg to the sky, please. Step forward, low lunge. Left knee to the floor. hips slide forward, untuck your back left toe today. Now we're doing the same kind of pattern work with the arms and the upper spine. So it will feel repetitive because it is. And this whole idea is we're using cat-cow as our guiding movement to stay in the upper spine. So in this low lunge shape, hands go straight up. Exhale, elbows to hips. Stay relatively neutral for the moment. Inhale, hands go over your head. Exhale, elbows to hips. Now we add the spine. Here's the action. Inhale, round forward like a cat. Your hips will slide a little bit back like you're going to half splits, but your foot will stay on the floor. And then inhale, find the lunge, let the elbows come to the hips. Good. Inhale, take it back, round the spine. Exhale, hips go forward, elbows go down. Good. Inhale, round it down one more time. Exhale, elbows go down, heart lifts up. Pause here, steady. Now you're in this opening, upper thoracic moment, this spaciousness that we're looking for. And rather than trying to find it here in the lower back, I want you to think sternum to the front corner of the room, top of the head to the back corner of the room. So you have this ability to draw the elbows down as you lift your heart forward and reach the crown back. Now, all I want you to think about is getting length and height. So tuck the back left toe, and then if it works for you, lift your left knee. Same idea, heart lifts, crown head reaches. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Notice the back switch on and activate. Up dog, downward facing dog. Well done. It is all staying in the back body, staying in the back body. Left leg, please. Inhale, that left leg goes up. Step to lunge. As you're in the lunge shape, knee is down, toes untucked. Inhale, hands go up. Exhale, set the elbows into place. Good, add the legs. Inhale, hip goes back, cat in the spine. Exhale, hips move forward, heart lifts, elevates, widens. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, stay here, tuck your back right toes, lift your knee. Same idea, heart still goes forward, crown still goes back, and we're lengthening up and away as opposed to try to sink and fold. Good, take a big breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor, chaturanga if you want it. Today we do want it. Switch the back body on, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, pause here, take a big breath in. Long breath out, bend your knees, jump to your lap. Whew. And so we are moving in that sense where the flow is inviting this activity and awareness. Because without the awareness, we can't make the space in the body that's needed. Maybe today already you can really feel how much the back body is working, how much warmth that we're creating behind us. That's that movement and that effort that we're looking for. Good, let's slow things down a little bit so we can start to move a little bit more precisely. Hopefully you've got 2 blocks today, and what I'd love for you to do is set the blocks at the top of your mat for bridge pose and put your feet on top of these blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. You just do it on the floor and it does the same or a similar job. But today, if you do have blocks, use that or something else that gives height, totally fine. So now that you're in this bridge-like shape, back body is on the floor. What I want you to start by doing is very simply just lifting the hips so there's space. And what's nice about doing a bridge as part of your back bending sequence is that it's not inevitably going to go into your lower lumbar because of the height of the hips, the position of the posture. It's going to be an opportunity to lift the hips and then lift the heart away. Right? There is no risk, quote unquote, that you're going to go far back to compress the lower lumbar, purely just because the ground is here and the length of your leg is the length of your legs. So you don't have any more space behind you. Good, take a big breath here. And then just let your hands come to the floor like you're reaching towards your heels. They're not going to reach. Take a big inhale in, and then exhale down. Now, if you need to reset your feet so you're not as far away, you can do that. But we're gonna start to do a few minor adjustments of the feet in the block setup to give you a little bit of support. One of the things that I think is really important is that, I don't know why I'm sitting like this, is that when you're working with back bending, we so focus on the lower lumbar, and we also focus on warming up the upper, middle back and thoracic. But we also need to make sure, in most cases, the legs, the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes are all firing, because that's gonna help give us an anchor point to move away into a more kind of open back bend shape. So this is what we're doing here. So let's just lift the heels. So push the feet down and lift the heels. Inhale, everything comes up. Good, and everything comes down. So that's in place. Now what I want you to do is I want you to take this right block and do one of two things. Either move it forward so you're in the top edge of the block and the front of the foot's coming off. If that feels a bit wobbly, just move your block forward by about 6 or 7 centimeters so it's asymmetrical in the legs. You can see how mine literally is here. One is forward and one is back. Place the heel in the middle of your block, flex the toes on the right foot, and then lift yourself up. So now you have an asymmetrical bridge. Good, now as you do that, flex the toes hard on the right foot, so a dorsiflexion, and flex the toes on the left foot, even though the ball of the foot is down. So now what I've done is I've lifted the arches of the feet and I've moved the intention up the legs. Now from this shape, please take your right heel and drag it towards your bum. Now I don't want the block to move, but I want you to feel like you're pulling it in, pulling it in, pulling it in. And what you're gonna feel, if you wanna poke around, you're gonna feel leg fire, you're gonna feel the glute fire. At the same time, I want you to feel like you're drawing it in. Good, there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and put it down. All right, and that has that almost feeling like of what it almost feels like for your muscles to cramp. And what we're doing is we're moving into full activation. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift it up, flex the toes on both feet, drag the heel to the seat for 5, 4, 3, drag it in, 2, keep the hips lifted, 1, and put it down. Good, we're gonna finish off this right side. So now we're gonna destabilize the left side. So same idea in the legs. So come on up before you start to drag and pull. Heel is down on the right foot. And now what I want you to do is I want you to draw the toes up so they're flexed and engaged. Now lift your left leg towards the sky in an L shape. Hips are still rising. Now drag the right heel in. Drag the heel in for 5, 4, lift from the sacrum, 3, pelvis is lifting, 2, and 1, put it all down. And what you'll start to feel in a really interesting way is if you don't do the engagement work, you'll start to feel it in your lower back. So this is where I need you to fire up the leg line, to fire up the support that goes underneath the bottom side of the fold. Does that make sense? All right, let's try the second side. All right, you can sit up to switch the legs, or you can shuffle around your feet to do that. But now the left block is forward and the right block is back. Whew. Come on back down to the floor, everyone. All right, so the toes are flexed on both feet. However, the left foot is forward and the whole ball of the foot is up, so the heel is the only thing on the block. Inhale up to a bridge pose for me, please. You got this, everyone. And then drag it in, drag it in, drag it in, drag it in. Keep dragging. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Rest for a moment. Now for me, I'm left-sided, left-handed, left-footed, and this left side feels stronger. It doesn't feel like my muscle's gonna cramp so much. It doesn't feel as weak. And that's normal when you have a dominant side of the body, yeah? And so just notice that your patterns of engagement will be different from side to side. All right, here we go again. Inhale, everything comes up. Drag that heel in. You've got 2 more rounds of this. Drag it in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then put it down. All this leg work is going to support the lower part of the body, and it's now going to start to combine with that back body. So now everything above the lower lumbar and everything below the lower lumbar has engaged, switched on effort. Here we go. Come on back up, please. Flex the toes, lift the ball of the foot in your left heel, pull it in for 5, 4, 3, it's drawing it in, 2, and 1, and then release it down. Almost done. You have that last part, which is the other leg lifting. And when you're ready, come on back up. Inhale, everything comes up. This time, lift the right heel L-shaped, and now drag that left leg. Drag that left leg. Now lift the hips for 5, 4, hips stay lifted, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Shake the legs out above you. Whew, that's miserable, isn't it? You're doing a great job. And what we're doing, again, you're going to start to notice how this effort starts to save and support the lower back. Big breath in, long breath out. Cross your ankles, sit yourself up. Keep the blocks here because we'll use them if you've got them. And what's nice about this practice is that we're just going to move between upper half, lower half. And even though we don't have a huge amount of time today, I still want to use the time we have in a very effective way. All right, so hands on blocks now, please take a downward facing dog. Heels of the hands slide off the back of the block so you have a brake system. And you take a big breath in here and a long breath out. Big inhale and a long breath out. Slide yourself forward to plank. Keep the toes tucked, drop the hips like we did at the start of the practice, and see how much the spine can open from the top half. Now, of course, you could collapse and let your elbows go to your ears, but I want you to push up out of it, and the block height gives you more in the thoracic as opposed to the lumbar. Good, take it back, downward facing dog. I want you to notice and feel when you do this variation, when you go from the up dog back to the down dog, literally feel like there's a tail of a dog behind you and it's pulling you back, yeah? Come through one more time. Inhale, upward facing dog. Now protect the shoulders and lift the chest. Toes are tucked, and rather than trying to go back further, I want you to literally feel like you're pushing away from the block, broadening the collarbones, keeping your legs active and long. Take a big breath in. Now imagine you have a tail, pull that tail straight back. One more time. Inhale, you come forward. Structure, don't just drop the hips, structure it as you roll the shoulders back. Lengthen, widen through the collarbones. Take a big breath in. Pull the tail back. Downward facing dog. Lift your right heel to the sky, please. Well done. Step the right foot on the right block. Lower your left knee if you'd like. Sit yourself up. So now we have height under the right foot, which means there's more space for a back bend to move back. However, I want you to think about the chest moving forward, widening through the collarbones, crown of the head hooking to the back corner of the room. So here with this right foot, you can do this leg up or down. I'm going to do leg down for the first variation. You can go full if you want. Inhale, hands go up. Exhale, elbows draw to hips. Feel that heart lift. Inhale, soften it. Exhale, open it. And over-exaggeration is the wrong word, but really feel the value of thoracic lift. So close it, and then peel it open from the upper body, literally like the heart is lengthening upwards and widening. Good. If you want to do it with your knee up, now's the moment. Inhale, and then exhale, the heart goes through. Good, take a big breath in. Exhale, hands to blocks, take it back, downward facing dog. Slide the hips forward for your floating up dog. Downward facing dog, well done, pull the tail. Left leg rises here, everyone. Step forward to this block. Same idea, knee down if you'd like, hands going up. Exhale, heart goes through. Inhale. Exhale, lift from the heart. Remember the trick here is don't lose the back leg. Push that foot down if it's down. And if you want to lift it, tuck the toe. More work, more space. Exhale, open the heart here. Do one more for good measure. Breathe in. Exhale. Good, and then take it down. Downward facing dog. Float your up dog, breathe in. Pull the tail, take it back. Wonderful, everyone. Drop your knees down, pause, and rest for a second. I'd say we're moving a little faster than most days. However, it's nice to put these pieces in place, and the warmth is necessary for where we're going, which is camel pose. Okay, so if you've got tools like I have today, I'd like you to make a little wall at the top of your mat, just like this, and put your blanket back on top, just like that. Now, if you don't have that, you can roll up a towel. That works. You can use a sofa or a bed cushion. Might be a little less dense, but you find what will work for you. So here's what I want to do. Today we're going to do camel pose, but we're going to do camel pose on here. So our knees are going to be here to give us a little bit of height. Why? Well, what happens is when we come onto the blocks and we have our knees up, it's going to change the position of our pelvis, the position of our entrance, and it's going to move the spine already in a backwards direction, which means now it's going to create more opportunity and temptation for spinal lift, opening, and rising. So here's how I'd like you to set up. So you're here in camel pose, knees on the block, toes are tucked. You can go untucked toes, it's longer on your ankles. You need to decide if that's going to feel comfortable for your ankles. I'm going to start toes tucked. For this version of camel pose, for ease, I'm going to keep my hands by my sides for the moment, and then they'll move in a down and back position towards the heels. So we're not grabbing, and we're not holding lower back, because I need you to be accountable for the movement and the action. So here's what I want you to find. Come join me in camel pose prep. Steady your camel here. Press the hips forward, wrap the inner thighs inwards. So thighs are wrapping inwards, space in the lower back. And then as you do that, start to lean yourself back, press the hips forward, and then all I want you to do is take your hands back towards your heels, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, as if literally you're taking your heart through. Good, take a big breath in, and then exhale, sit onto your heels. So it doesn't need to be a big grand action. It's just kind of moving through that motion as we begin. Okay, inhale, reset. Exhale, take it back at the diagonal. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulder blades down, heart lifts. Hands reach to heels, they don't need to touch. Crown the head along with the spine, please breathe in. Exhale. It's kind of this idea, it's kind of like one of the ways one of my friends who's a teacher shared it to me once. She said, it's like a choo-choo train. It's like the shoulders are going back, and then when you want to come forward, the shoulders take you back and forward. So you're almost choo-chooing the train back into camel, and then you're choo-chooing the train out of camel. I also spend a lot of time with small children, so this all works for me. You figure out if that's a helpful way to talk about it for you. Come back into camel pose, please. Here we go again. Inhale, choo-choo your train back. Good. Heart lifts, spine is long. So thighs are wrapping, active legs, active legs, active legs, active legs. Good. And then choo-choo your train back up. And I want you to feel those aspects of pulling and drawing the legs back, moving the hips forward, lifting the heart. And this time on the third round, if you want to take your hands towards your heels, you can. I will say it'll be a temptation for you to get lazy and to hang out. So one of the better ways to do it is to just use your heels as a reference point and just rise out of it. So here's how I do it if I'm going to grab the heels. I'm going to start with my hands on my heels, and I'm going to lift from here. Right, so I have a lifting action. Then I'm going to push the hips forward. Good. I'm going to do it that way, as opposed to coming here and then landing on it. Come into it now. You got this. You're here for a few breaths. Let the breath just wash back through you as you work with this practice. Big breath in, long breath out. And when you're done with this camel, you come back to your seat, bring your knees off of it, and then just put your forehead on the blanket. A little bit of that closing work or rebounding work is just letting the spine come back to a natural state. So forehead to your bolster, your block situation, hands by your ankles. And already you can start to notice how much work it can be to work into these postures and into this practice. And so keeping your wall where it is, what I'd love for you to do is to take your wall and slide it down your mat a little bit. Nothing overly dramatic, but just, again, kind of like where you had it to start. Because again, what we're going to do in a moment is we're just going to lie back over it. And again, it doesn't matter what end of your mat it's on. It's just a space to lengthen out. And so when we do this practice, we're making this space and we're using backbending, camels, and postures that expand us. We also want to make sure there's time and space to put ourselves back together, to have that space to kind of return back within. And so as you sit next to your wall, just on your lap for a moment, just really let the shoulders roll, the forehead come down. And one of the things I like to do is I'll take two hands and I'll place them on the other sides of the knees. And I'll even slide them under the backs of my knees to kind of keep them in place. And then I'll just pull the arms apart. As you pull the arms apart and you round through the back, you'll start to feel almost like a ballooning of the back body. And that can be a nice way to kind of create space behind you. Move the shoulders a few times. What you might notice is a few little cracks and pops in the necks and the shoulders. It's almost like it's creating all this space up here in the top region. And the lower back hopefully has a little bit more spaciousness to it. Okay, so here's how we're going to start to close this part of the practice. I'd like you to come up over your block wall, and I'd like you to do a bridge pose one more time with your hips on top of your wall. And we'll start this way. Rather than bridge bend the knees, just let the hips be the highest part. So the block wall is literally on the back of the sacrum. And you're just allowing the body to kind of reopen here for a moment. If it feels too much on the lower back, you can bend your knees and put them down. Or you can soften it one at a time by just bringing a knee into the chest. You just notice how the body just is still in this open space, but perhaps there's an awareness behind you as much as there is in front of you. If possible, walk your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit more. And if this is nice for you, you can definitely stay here, or you can draw your knees in and take your legs up to a version of a Viparita Karani. If that feels too high when you get up there, you just soften the knees, or you just return to the floor. And what we're doing is we're creating the space that's necessary to allow the body not just to back bend, because that's a bit too on the nail, but it's making the space so we can move into freedom, move into access, openness. And just maybe take a moment to notice where in the body it feels like there has been action or activity. And does it feel supportive in a way at how it opens us up? Because a lot of times the learning says that the more we have structure and steadiness, the more we have grounding and understanding, the more space we have for curiosity, discovery, exploration. And so in these moments where we feel like we're unsure or uncertain, you come back to grounding, you come back to steadiness, and that will help you move into new space and make new space in a supported way. Big breath in. Long breath out. Bend your knees and put your feet down. Lift yourself up and off. You can kind of wiggle yourself back like a little worm. And you've got one or two ways in which you're going to start to soften and close the practice. And you can either put the block wall under the backs of your knees, which can be a nice way if you've kind of had enough back bending. Or you literally spin it all the way around, just like how we started, but potentially at the other end of the mat. And you just allow the block to go underneath your chest. And that can be a nice way to let the middle thoracic open one more time. And you might just find the position of the hands is personal. Big breath in. Long breath out. And of course, if you want to shift the shape of your closing posture and you want to do something slightly different, now's that moment for it. At the same time, you give yourself the space to let the body kind of understand the new space it's found. You know, that thing where you kind of, if you're clearing space or you're emptying a cupboard or you're moving house or you're just getting rid of some stuff and making new space, then what you need to do is take a moment in that new space and just let it breathe and let it steady. And that can be a really valuable thing in the practice. Being here, knowing that you have all the time to kind of put the pieces back together, to see how it feels and notice how it lands. And as always, take what you need from this and leave what you don't. The point and the purpose of all of the classes that I teach are fundamentally hoping to offer you a little bit of value in some part of the practice. And we all come to this practice for different reasons with different levels of learning and different points of interest. And it's about where can this add value to where I'm already at in my journey? Where can I take something that helps me along the path, or where can I put something down that gives me more space as I move forward? And that for me has always been a great lesson in the practice, that there's no wrong way to practice other than ways in which we can see the practice through slightly different lenses. And that's what this is. And so, of course, today, if you'd like to close practice with me or with us here, you're welcome to kind of find your way out into a place where you're comfortable to sit in closing. And if you're super happy on the floor, because sometimes after a practice like this, it's nice to have a long moment, you stay down. And if you are finding your way up into a closing seat, take a moment just to look into the space or the room you're in, to acknowledge that you have time to breathe and time to kind of take what you need from it. And as always, the space is yours to enjoy. If you'd like to close the practice here with us now, the eyes will settle and the hands will rest wherever suits you. And we acknowledge that when we make new space, it purely creates an opportunity, not necessarily for more, but an opportunity to decide what we take forward. Close the practice with one breath and one Om together. Take an inhale and an exhale. Inhale. Honoring the practice for all that it is. And if it suits you, together we say, Namaste. As always, it is very nice to have you in the room, having you on the mat, and sharing a little bit more about this practice that I and hopefully we also love. And remember, you can always come back and find your way to figure out this whole thing in the practice and give yourself all the space in the world to kind of let things unfold. All right, gang, we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for practicing and have a wonderful rest of your day.